Hello and welcome back, dear chess friends. I am WFM Nasrin, and today we are going to talk about English opening by analyzing one of my best games. Let's jump to analyze. I am playing with white, and I started with c4 English opening, e5, knight c3, knight f6, e3, bishop b4. I protected my knight with knight g, e2, c6, and now I am starting to chase this black bishop. a3, bishop a5, b4, bishop c7, and as you can see, black lost 2 tempos in the opening with his black bishop. d4, and he played queen e7. He should have castled, and this is an inaccuracy. And I pushed my pawn d5. I gained some space in the center. He played e4. He should have castled again and tried to develop his position. Knight d4, and there is a rule about pawns. If you push one of your pawns, it creates some weaknesses. For example, in this position, e5 pawn was controlling this d4 and f4 square, but after e4 push, it's not controlling anymore, and I can play knight d4 and control my own d4 square. He castled, bishop b2, and he played queen e5, which is a mistake. And let's say if he plays bishop e5, this is also a mistake because I can go knight f5, queen e8, I push d6, and this locks black's position. Queen e6 and g4, I protect my knight at this pawn push, and it's winning for white. The right move was d6, bishop b2, cd, a5, castle, knight a6. White has great advantage in this position because white's pieces are more active than black's, and it's better for white. He played queen e5, and this is not a development move, and it's not doing anything at all. And I thought here I have to chase this queen. So I played knight a4. He played queen g5 in the game. If he plays queen e8, I can push g4 and white has attack. After queen g5, I continue to chase. h4, he played queen g6 in the game. If he plays queen g4, for example, I can attack this queen with bishop e2. And if queen g2, there's king d2. I can protect my rook with this move. And it's winning for white, like bishop e5. I can push d6 and lock black's position again. Queen f2 and queen b3. I connect my rooks, and there's like rook f1 threats, rook g1, and black queen is trapped. So if he played queen g6 in the game, and I push h5. Queen g5, and I pushed h6. My purpose is to create attack on kingside. That's why I'm pushing my h-pawn till h6. And he played g6 in the game. If he takes on d5, I was gonna take on g7, and taking with king or queen was a mistake because king's position would be open and it would be a disaster. So he played g6 in the game. If you want, you can stop video here and try to find what I have played here. And this is really interesting and strong move. And if you have stopped and thought, let's continue. I push d6 and sacrifice my pawn. So I have idea here with pushing this pawn, because if he takes, I sacrifice my knight at knight f3, and if he takes, I take on d6. And let's quickly see this line. If he takes on g2, bishop g2, knight d8, queen d4, I threat checkmate, f6, bishop h3, knight a6, and long castle. And white has attack. But instead, he played bishop d8, queen c2, a5. I played rook h3. In the game, my purpose was to play rook g3 in the future. AB, knight a6, rook g3, and he played knight g4. The better move was queen h5, but he played this move and the knight is pinned now. Queen c3, I took control of this diagonal and I am creating some mate threats. Knight b4, and I played knight c6, but I could have sacrificed my rook with rook g4. This is really strong move. Queen g4, and now knight c6, knight c2 check, and I'm ignoring this check with king d2, f6, knight d7, king f7, and king c2. White is winning because white is now threatening, taking on f6 with the queen, and the king is like in danger. I am the danger. So let's go back to the game. I sacrificed my knight with knight c6, bishop f6, knight d7, king h8, and I took the knight on b4, but I could have sacrificed my rook again, rook g4, and sacrificed my queen, bishop c3, f6, rook g5, knight c2, king d1, knight a1, knight b6, rook a3, bishop b2, rook b3, and rook b5. And now white is winning because the bishop on c8 is trapped, and white has two pieces versus rook. That's why it's winning position, and that bishop on c8 is slipping. So let's go back to the game. I took the knight on b4 because I thought it was free knight, and I took it. Bishop b2, queen b2 check, f6, knight b6. And let me give you a tip. When you have extra material in the game, try to exchange like some major pieces. It can be minor pieces too, because if there's like less pieces on the board, there are like more chances to win, because we are taking the opponent's counterplay from them. Rook a1, queen a1, queen c5, rook g4, I take second knight, queen b4. I played queen e2 in the game, but queen d1 is a strong move. After queen b6, I can take on c8, and f6 pawn is protected by rook. That's why they cannot take on c8, and white is winning again. I played king e2. I thought this is like secure move. That's why I chose this move. Queen b6, knight d5, queen d6, and I am sacrificing my knight f6. They cannot take on f6 because of rook f4, and it's checkmate on f8 in the next move. So he played queen e6, offering to trade the queens. I accept this trade, queen a6, ba, and I take on e4, rook e4, a5, and rook e7. There is inevitable checkmate threat on h7, and of course they cannot take on f6 because rook e8, rook f8, and rook f8 would be checkmate. But my opponent resigned on 33 move, and let's get a conclusion of this game. As you can see, this black bishop on c8 didn't develop all the game and slipped all the game, and because of this development mistakes, it brought black disaster. So remember this, in the opening you should capture the center, develop your pieces quickly, and then castle. If you complete these 3 steps, you will finish this opening section and go to middle game. So remember these 3 rules and apply this in your games, and it will give you good position, at least in the opening. That's it for this video. If you have any questions, ask in the comments and we will reply as soon as possible. Make sure to support the channel by like and subscribe. Bye bye and see you in the next one.